Southampton might actually get relegated this Premier League season, and if they want to avoid it, they need to make changes, and they need to make changes fast, which is exactly what I'll be talking about in today's video, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, let me introduce myself. Hey everyone, my name is Finn Kraus with your regular football content. If this is the kind of content that you do enjoy, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and bell notification to catch more content like this in the future. But as I said, in today's video, I'll be talking about Southampton, which, wow, a 3-0 loss to West Brom. That was not promising whatsoever. 14th place on the Premier League table. With 7 games left this season, they're only 10 points above the relegation zone. They've got a bunch of very tricky games coming up, and I don't think it is likely that they might actually stay up this Premier League season, or at least not without a fight. And as we saw versus West Brom, I don't know how much fight Southampton have left in them. That's why, as I said, in today's video, I'll be looking at the team as a whole. I'll be talking about what kind of changes and players need to be brought into this team. I'll be talking about the management, because although Hassan Hutel has a very dessert sounding name, he has not had a sweet season whatsoever, and I'm not sure he's the right man for the job. So as I said, I'll be talking about this whole Southampton team as a whole, the changes that need to happen and the changes that need to happen fast in order for them to prevent relegation. Because as I said, even if it's not this season, I think even next season they could see themselves in a relegation battle. It's not looking promising. They need to make changes, and that is what I'll be talking about in today's video. Now, of course, I think the best way to start this is by reviewing the game between Southampton and West Brom, which a 3-0 loss versus West Brom is absolutely embarrassing. The defense of the Southampton team has fallen apart this season. I don't know where it went to, but the second worst defense in the entire Premier League. Second to, guess who? West Brom. So for them to concede 3 goals past them and not score back, that is absolutely humiliating. I think looking at the team as a whole, Fraser Foster in the goal, I mean, look, fantastic WWE move, but unfortunately wrong sport, costed them a penalty. I personally find, for me, that McCarthy is a better goalkeeping option. I feel like his reflexes are a lot better. But at the end of the day, neither of these goalkeepers have been good enough so far this season. Looking at the defense of the Southampton team, I mean, look, I know they're called the Saints, but they absolutely parted like the Red Sea for the other 2 goals. It was absolutely horrific. I think, obviously, Kyle Walker-Peters, in my opinion, very promising looking right back. I absolutely love his style of play, but in terms of the centre-backs, Bednarak and Vestergaard, are we sure they are footballers? I'm pretty sure they compete with each other to get as far out of the box as possible, as far away from the ball, so who's ever closest when the goal is scored can get the blame. Neither of them have had a good season whatsoever. Left back-wise, Bertrand, I mean, look, I really like him as a player, but in terms of a modern-day fullback, he just doesn't cut it for me. I feel like Southampton need to bring in a player on loan, maybe a Brandon Williams from Manchester United. That's what I feel like, because Williams, a player who's very promising, very, very talented, very, very good, not getting game time at Manchester United. So, you know what? If Southampton can get a midfielder or a left back like that on a 6-month loan to a year loan, I think they'll be sorted. And in terms of the Southampton midfield, there was absolutely no motivation to win the ball whatsoever from Southampton. Look, I don't think this team is motivated to win, and we saw that in the midfield. Look, Diallo looks very, very promising as a midfielder, but once again, not a correct substitution for Højbjerg, who left for Spurs in the summer transfer window. I feel like they still need a midfielder like that, because James Ward-Prowse, very, very good midfielder, very, very good at getting set pieces, but I'm not sure he's really good at anything else. I'm sorry, Southampton fans, if that does hurt you, but as an outsider, as an observer, that is how I see things. And Højbjerg has been heavily missed at Southampton, which, by the way, before I talk about the rest of the Southampton team, where have they spent all their money? How have they wasted all their money on good players leaving? Because in the last year alone, Southampton have gotten rid of players like Shane Long, Valerie, they've gone on loan, Yoshida, Suarez, Hutt, Lamina, Reed, and Højbjerg. Those are fantastic players that they should have accumulated 50 to 60 million pounds on. Where's that money gone? How have they wasted it so much? And talking about those players, those are big names. All of them a year ago were in the Southampton starting lineup. And for them to not correctly replace them, that is why the Southampton team is struggling so much. And in terms of their wingers, oh, don't even get me started on the wingers. Who here in their right mind thinks of Walcott as a footballer in general? Look, Southampton, he had 1 or 2 good games when he started for you guys, but hadn't been performing for Arsenal for many, many years, wasn't performing for Everton. Why did Southampton think that they would be the game changers, that they would be the difference? Look, he's not the correct player to play, and that is where I have to question Hassan Hutel. I think Hassan Hutel, to play him over Minamino, what is wrong with you? Minamino has been 10 times more promising so far this season than the likes of Walcott, which also makes me question, you are losing 3-0 and you're going to make all your substitutions within the last 14 minutes of the game. That's right, I'm not exaggerating. All 3 subs were made in the last 14 minutes of the game. I don't understand how you think you're going to win. How do you make it when you are 3-0 down, not at halftime, when you're 2-0 down? That is why they lost. You left it way too late to make your substitutions. I think Gineppo looked really promising. But you can't make drastic changes in 14 minutes. Magic doesn't happen in just 14 minutes. Who do you think you are, Johnny Sins? That was so pathetic from this team in terms of the left back. Look, Armstrong had 1 or 2 very good shots, but he took them from outside of the box when there were very clear options to pass to inside the box. Unnecessary risks made, and attacking wise, didn't take their chances properly, which brings me to the strikers, and Danny Ings has not had a good season whatsoever. I mean, a fantastic assist, or at least start of creative play. Unfortunately, it was for the wrong team. Danny Ings, as a professional footballer, surely you know not to make passes like that. That was horrific. Look, 9 goals this Premier League season for Danny Ings, their top scorer this season. I expect a lot better. I expect Danny Ings to be at least a 15 goal a season kind of striker, but of course injuries get in the way of that, and unfortunately Danny Ings in general has not been performing, which obviously shows that he is still heavily linked to Liverpool, which, can we just talk about this for a second? Liverpool, super good last year, Danny Ings, super good. Liverpool fallen apart, Danny Ings, fallen apart to an extent. It's like Liverpool are the main Wi-Fi router and Danny Ings is the Wi-Fi extender. No matter how far away he is, he's still connected, and that is the problem. Danny Ings hasn't been performing so well this season, but luckily for him, Shea Adams has stepped up a level. I've been very, very impressed with him, but once again, it doesn't help that Shea Adams is brought on in the last 14 minutes. I don't get that. I mean, are they saving him for the FA Cup coming this weekend versus Leicester City? Are you hoping that you can have all your achievements this season in the FA Cup? Southampton, you need to play your best players in the Premier League. You need to get top 10, because in my opinion, if Southampton can stay in the top 12 this Premier League season, they can consider the season a success, or not even. If they can end up 13th or 12th on the table, it's a success, because as I said, 7 games left this Premier League season, and they are tough games. They need to win at least 3, 4, 5 of them to guarantee staying in the Premier League, and I don't think it'll be easy, because they play teams like Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspurs, Fulham, Leeds and West Ham. Like, you're not guaranteed 3, 4 wins there, especially with the way Southampton have been playing. I think they're on genuine threat of being relegated this season by the way they've been playing. And as I said, if they don't make drastic changes quick, they might go down this season, if not next season. As I said, they need to replace the players that they got rid of in the squad, but they're not looking good whatsoever. And you know it is a tough time when you play Nathan Redmond as a striker instead of, as I said, as a neutral. I'm upset. I didn't know that was possible. As a neutral, watching this team, it has so much talent in the team, but I don't know what's happened to them. They've fallen apart. Look, they were top of the Premier League in the first 2 months of the season. Look, I never expected James Ward-Prowse to lift the Premier League trophy, but I didn't expect this kind of fall from grace. It has been an absolutely pathetic season overall from Southampton. They need to make changes. And Hassan Hutel, look, I really like him as a manager. I do feel like he has been a bit overhyped, but look, in your 2-3 years at management at the club, you've lost 2 games within your time there, 9-0. Yes, I know it's only 2 games, but surely you have to question your defensive abilities. For you to have the second worst defense in the Premier League, with the kind of defenders that you have brought into the club, that you specifically and the previous manager have brought into the club, for you to build this defense and still lose 9-0 2 times, you really have to question that. And to have the second worst defense in the Premier League after West Brom, look, that is a major problem. I think Southampton almost need a manager that is more like Sam Allardyce, a manager who knows how to bring in good underrated players from lower leagues, who knows how to pick out certain players that will achieve things for the club. But the problem is, at this rate, Southampton might actually get Sam Allardyce next season, and not for the reason that they want. I think they need a manager like that, who knows how to build a club, who knows English football specifically. Look, I know that's not really something that matters hugely to majority of people, but I feel like Sam Allardyce, a manager who definitely knows his English football, knows what to do at a club like Southampton. He knows the Premier League league more than most managers, I feel like, in the league. He's got experience, and that's how he knew how to beat Southampton. Sam Allardyce has built a super strong looking West Brom team. Look, I can't take credit away from West Brom. They looked really, really good on the day. But Southampton, I mean, look, your one saving grace is the fact that you won a penalty. But then you missed it. I don't know. I feel like looking at this team overall, as I said, there was no player that I would say I would give a 4 out of 10 rating to. They were that bad. No determined whatsoever. And if they don't make changes, and if they don't make changes fast, they are going to be in deep trouble. They need to put more pressure on defensively. They need to man mark specifically, not just zonal mark. They need to stick to their man. In terms of attack, they need to be more careful with their passes. They can be less heavy on their touches because they were way too heavy on their touches, and that's why they kept losing possession. But guys, this has been Finn FYNN. Once again, this is just my thoughts on Southampton at the moment, what I think they need to do to prevent getting relegated. As I said, whether they'll actually get relegated this season, personally for me, I don't really think so, but if they don't make changes, I mean, they could really be a threat next season at least. Has been an underperforming season, and they need to make changes. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. On the road to 1,000 subscribers, or at least 950. In the meantime, do like this button if you do like this button. Sure, why not? Do hit the like button down below to show your appreciation for videos like this. Can we please get it to 10 likes? But guys, until my next video, this has been Finn FYNN. It's good to complain to you guys once again. I feel like I haven't done it in a while, but cheers. Bye.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it.